From Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland, it's Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. Hi, everybody. I'm Larry Michael. Great to have you with us tonight for another great night of action here at Michael's 8th Avenue. And a big treat, the Fighting Fields brothers from the Maryland area are here tonight. Got Jermaine Fields, unbeaten.
I'm Anthony Fields.
Anthony Fields, unbeaten?
My name's Jermaine Fields.
I'm in the middle of something I can't handle here, folks. Find out about the unbeaten Fields brothers tonight, right here, Ballroom Boxing. First fight coming up after a timeout. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports from Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. I'm Larry Michael. Great to be with you tonight. The action, hot, heavy, always exciting in the ballroom. Pat O'Malley has a good one in the ring right now. Let's get the official introduction.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. The Maryland State Athletic Commission, Chairman Carlin Milligan Jr., Executive Director Patrick Pinella, Ballroom Boxing, promoters Scott Wagner, matchmaker Josh Hall, present this 4-round bout in the welterweight division. The referee in charge is MALIK WALEED. Introducing the boxers. Out of the blue corner, from Reisterstown, Maryland, wearing the red trunks trimmed in black, weighing 146.5 pounds, with a record of 1-0, it came by knockout. Please welcome Matt Hill. Out of the red corner, from Great Falls, Virginia, with a record of 146.25 pounds, wearing the white trunk, with a record of 3-1, 3 by knockout. Please welcome Jimmy Lange.
Jimmy Lange and Matt Hill. What a contrast in physiques. Let's take a look at the matchup. Jimmy Lange, 6 foot tall. Matt Hill, 5'3". There you see the reach advantage, 74-69 in favor of Jimmy Lange, who's 23 years old. Matt Hill is 30. Matt Hill is built like a fire plug, all muscles. Jimmy Lange, long and lean. Jimmy Lange works out of the Sugar Ray Leonard Gym in Palmer Park, Maryland. From Great Falls, Virginia. Matt Hill from Reisterstown, Maryland. So this is a DC-Baltimore matchup. Lange in the white trunks and the black trim against Hill. And you just got to look at the size differential, the height differential. You can see Mr. Hill built powerfully, and Lange is long and lanky. Boy, what do you do to set up this fight? Now, Lange is going to be punching down. Hill is just one big muscle. Look at that. I mean, he is ripped. Coming out aggressively. Let's see what kind of skills Mr. Hill has. Lange, you know, he is pretty well schooled working out of the Sugar Ray Leonard Gym. A lot of help there. Pepe Correa. Working with Lange. Hill comes in with a record of 1-0. His victory coming in December of '98. And you see Hill just chasing after Lange. Very awkward opponent for Lange at 6 foot tall. I don't know if he's ever fought someone as small as Hill. Lange 3-1 with 3 knockouts. His loss, a 4-round decision back in March of '98 to Kevin Collins in Nevada. Back on the winning track, a victory at TKO in the first round over Anthony Boykin, November 24th of '98. You see, sometimes they say styles make fights, and the styles here are tough for both fighters. Hill just too short to reach Lange with those punches, and Lange kind of just too tall, really too tall. It's just an awkward opponent for Jimmy Lange. You see Hill, a lot of shake and bake, a lot of bobbing and weaving. Lange scores with a good combination. The mouthpiece about to go out of Hill's mouth. Lange sharp punches, and there's the knockdown. There's the knockdown. The referee MALIK WALEED stepping in. It's just a matter of time that Lange found the distance and got the leverage behind those punches against the shorter Matt Hill. Lange looking to his corner, maybe looking for a fast end tonight. Good left hand by Lange. Sometimes those big buff bodies don't translate into good boxing ability. You can see the legs for Hill right now. Very wobbly, very wobbly. If Lange could take advantage of the situation that Hill's in right now, he could put an end to this very quickly. It's a good left hand. Hill is shaken. Good right hand on the follow as Hill was going down. I don't know if MALIK WALEED is going to allow Hill to continue. He's not going to. This fight is over. First round knockout by Jimmy Lange of Great Falls, Virginia. And that runs his record to 4-1, his 4th knockout. Oh, that's a crowd pleaser. Jimmy Lange with the victory. Jimmy Lange's dad right there giving him a hug. He set the little man up nicely. It's kind of an awkward fight. Hill trying to bull his way in. Lange got him on the end of that punch, got all the leverage, got him in trouble, took advantage, and finished the deed in the first round. That's the back-to-back knockout in the first round for Jimmy Lange. Back in November, he got a first-round knockout. Let's take another look. Hill had been shaken. Lange dives in with a left hand and a right hand as Hill goes down. Jimmy Lange victorious. I'm sure we'll see more of Jimmy Lange in the ballroom. Pat O'Malley with the official time. Impressive victory for Jimmy Lange. Let's hear the time for Pat.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. The winner by TKO at 2 minutes and 41 seconds of round 1, Jimmy Lange.
Jimmy Lange victorious, a knockout winner in the first round. We'll have more ballroom boxing coming up on Home Team Sports. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. I'm Larry Michael. This, of course, you usually see him inside the ring. Alfonzo Daniels, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, pretty good. How about yourself?
Doing good. He's going to stick around. We got a fight in the ring. Let's get the official introductions from the ring announcer, Pat O'Malley. Pat.
Introducing the boxers. Out of the blue corner, wearing the navy trunks trimmed in white at the bottom, weighing 156 1/2 pounds, with a record of 10-8, 8 by knockout. He's from Taylor, Pennsylvania. Please welcome Bruce Corby. And out of the red corner, wearing the blue trunks trimmed in red, weighing 153 1/2 pounds, from Washington, D.C., with a record of 14-5, 9 via the KO. Please welcome Orlando Hollywood Hollis. The referee in charge is Gary Campaneschi.
All right, Hollis and Corby, let's take a look at the matchup. Hollywood Hollis, 32 years old, Corby 29. Corby has never fought in the D.C. area, all but one of his fights professionally in the state of Pennsylvania. His other fight coming in Delaware. See the weights, the height, the reach matchup. Hollis has the reach. And this fight is getting ready to begin. Fight tonight, the junior middleweight division for 6 rounds. And Alfonzo Daniels, you see two guys like this, obviously they really know little about each other, which is not the normal fight here in the ballroom. You got a lot of local rivalries here in Glen Burnie.
Well, on that note, I think Hollis should feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that he is the hometown favorite. But this guy from Pennsylvania, you know, they can have some pretty good, decent fighters up there in Delaware area, so this could be interesting.
8 knockouts to Corby's record out of the 10 victories. He's lost 8 as well. Last time out, he beat James McCray in Pennsylvania with a 6-round decision back in December of '98. Now, for Orlando Lewis, he's been off for quite a while. Has not fought since 1997. He was knocked out back then in Mississippi by Alex Bunima. And the usual feeling out process here. Hollis scoring with a right hand. Corby going into that fetal position. See, Hollis doesn't have the good sweat built up, but he's firing early.
Man, Hollis better come out of that shell a little bit earlier. He's going to be in that shell forever.
Hey, Al, tell me about yourself. When are we going to see you in the ring again?
Well, I'm looking forward to a fight hopefully in late March, early April. But nothing has been signed, sealed, and delivered yet. But as of right now, things are still kind of under wraps. I don't know if Scott's going to let the cat out of the hat tonight or not.
Hey, are you still training? You train all the time?
Pretty much. Always got to stay in the gym. And looks like that corner in Hollis's corner, Alan Nader and Al Wiseman. Unfortunately, they rendered me my first defeat against Larry Johnson. So those guys over there know what they're doing.
So you kind of want Corby to win this one. See, Corby just a wild right hand. So he might be a little tight right in there. Corby out of Pennsylvania in the blue trunks with the white trim, and Hollywood Hollis in the blue and red.
Nobody's really picked up the pace or really took the lead in this dance so far. But Hollis, he's coming on. He's keeping a little steady jab on him, throwing an odd right hand, but...
See some redness around the nose and eyes. Bruce Corby out of Taylor, Pennsylvania. Hollis moving well. Got to say it's his tempo, and neither man has really been hurt, and neither man has really thrown a real effective blow, but Hollis has the tempo right now.
Definitely, definitely.
How nervous do you get before you start a fight when you're standing up there during the ring introductions, Al Daniels?
Well, quite nervous. But I think once that bell sounds, everybody knows it's fight time. This is what all the hard work comes down to.
We're going to keep Alfonzo Daniels around for another round after a break. The fight continues. Corby and Hollis in the ballroom. All right, welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. I'm Larry Michael with Alfonzo Daniels. In the ring right now, Orlando Hollis in the blue trunks with the red trim, and Bruce Corby in the dark blue trunks with the white trim. Al talked about when we're going to see you in the ring again. Where'd you get that ring nickname, Alfonzo, too good for you, Daniels? Now, where'd you get that nickname?
I tell you, if I'm not mistaken, Pat O'Malley had rode in the Baltimore Sun one week after one of my first few fights up here. He said there's a new talent being showcased up at Michael's 8th Avenue, and he is too good for you to miss. And ever since then, the name has kind of stuck to me. Alfonzo, too good for you, Daniels. I have to thank Pat O'Malley for that name. And amazingly, it fits on your trunks.
That's a lot on there. Hey, you know, everyone here in the ballroom and in the D.C. metropolitan and Baltimore area are really in your corner, Al. But, you know, anywhere I go, people talk about Alfonzo Daniels. Can he increase his punching power? He's a great boxer. He's a stylist. He's crafty. He knows all the angles. But can he increase the power? Is that something you're working on?
Yes, and Al Scott and Leonard Langley are sitting me down, tying my feet down, and really making me use my upper body and my legs to get more effective punches. And I have to really credit those guys that they really sat down with me. And they've been the first ones in a while to really sit down and emphasize that in my training.
You've got so much skill, and you can punch. You can punch, but, you know, sometimes you need to be able to take someone out.
Definitely, and that's what people pay big bucks for, to come and see.
Right.
And I want to definitely give that to them. Because I don't want to sit there 8, 12 rounds a night. I need some longevity.
Fight continues in the ring. Bruce Corby and Orlando Hollis. Fight scheduled for 6 rounds. Hollis, I still think Hollis controlling the tempo of this fight. Corby content to try to counterpunch, but it doesn't seem like Corby has a lot of punching power.
I tend to agree with you there, Larry. He really doesn't seem to be interested in this fight by looking at it. You know, he looks very lackadaisical.
Hollis firing shots, trying to find the mark, and you see the redness around the nose and eyes of Bruce Corby. You know, the corner of Corby saying he's hurt. Was he talking to his own fighter?
I'm wondering. I know this is a 6-round fight, and this is round 2, but I think somebody's really got to, Corby, if he plans on winning this in the guy's hometown, he's got to really step it up.
That's exactly right. Great atmosphere here in the ballroom. You've had a lot of memorable fights here, Alfonzo Daniels. What makes it so special in here?
I tell you, the people that, you know, it feels like your whole family members are sitting at ringside cheering you on, and you got to love that. It's got to make you feel comfortable, and it really makes you want to please the crowd. And
Crowd gives you energy?
Definitely, definitely. I tell you, the crowd and mob violence is the worst thing.
Alfonzo Daniels, good luck to you. Thanks for stopping by.
Oh, thank you.
You're the best, buddy.
All right, likewise.
Alfonzo Daniels, look forward to seeing him in the ballroom very soon, and we'll be back to the ballroom after this. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. I'm Larry Michael. Great to have you with us tonight. More of the action from the ballroom, where the action is always competitive. Special thanks to Toyota for helping make tonight possible here in the ballroom. With us again, as always, John Scheinman. John, 2 rounds in the book. Hollis in the red trunks, in the blue trunks, I should say, with the red trim. It is Corby in the dark blue trunks and the white trim. And Corby, very little offense so far.
Real limited skills on Corby's part. He didn't look like he was trying at all in the first round, but he started to try a little more in the last. But I just don't think he has the skills to deal with Hollis. And Hollis is a guy who had a lot of ring rust coming into this fight. You could see him really thinking about it in the first round. Left hand, right hand. But as it develops, he starts to shake off the rust, and he begins to feel his old self come back to him after the layoff, and he's just starting to take over this fight.
Really has in the first part here in round 3. Really effective punching by Hollis, and Corby just continues to just move forward but not throw any punches. Doesn't have any leverage. That time Corby just bullying Hollis up against the ropes. So referee Gary Campaneschi warning Corby for that roughhousing tactic. Good right hand by Corby, sneaks in. His best punch of this fight for sure. Maybe he has a method to his madness here tonight. Corby eating a lot of punishment, though, early in this fight. Double jab by Hollis. Hollis effective when he punches and moves. If he sits in front of Corby, that kind of plays into the plotting style of Corby. See Corby just marching forward. Overhand right by Corby. Oh, from the floor, the right hand by Hollis. Catches nothing but air. Corby's corner wants him to continue to move forward. There's one problem with that. You could walk into a punch, nice uppercut by Hollis, and Corby pushes him away. Corby is sliding all over that ring. Bad footing with his shoes. They're very slippery on the canvas tonight. Hollis, though, has a good base, has good leverage. Corby really demonstrating very few boxing skills, kind of plodding forward. There's Hollis with another uppercut. Another left hand by Hollis. Another left hand by Hollis. Corby pushes him away. Corby, a very strong fighter, and you wonder, after the almost 2-year layoff by Hollis, whether he is going to have the stamina to continue for the whole 6 rounds at this pace. That's a question we're going to keep an eye on. Now Corby being warned by the referee Gary Campaneschi once again. See, Hollis is huffing and puffing. He's gassed, but he's on top. Good right hand by Hollis. And I think that shook Corby up. A little wobble in his step. Another sharp right hand. You know, we're going to keep it right here in the ballroom. The good punch by Hollis wobbled Corby. Now let's take a look at Corby in the corner. Corby coming from Taylor, Pennsylvania. Really was stung by the right hand. There you see a bit of swelling around the left eye of Corby, saying he is okay. Last time he went down by defeat by way of knockout was January of 1998 to Cornish Barker. TKO in the 3rd round. Since then, came back with a knockout of his own over Benny Garcia. Then a decision loss, a decision win, a decision loss, and a decision win. So he's on a win-loss, win-loss, win-loss streak. And at the end of that round, the 3rd, a good power shot with a right hand by Hollis. John Scheinman, 3 rounds in the books. What's your scorecard say?
I gave that a 10-8 round for Orlando Hollis. I thought he almost had him out on his feet there at the end, and I've got him ahead 30 to 26. And if Hollis had been a little more sharp, I think he would have sensed Corby in big trouble and he would have gone to take him out. But you were right. He maybe was feeling a little gas there and was conserving himself for the later rounds and didn't push the knockout. He would be smart if he gets him hurt again to go for it.
Thank you, John. Good Sharp right hand by Hollis here to start the 4th round. Another one. Now Corby throwing punches with some bad intentions. They're a little wide, a little wild. And again, he's slipping around the ring. He's got bad footing on the bottom of those shoes. Big uppercut by Hollis just clips the nose of Corby. Hollis really fundamentally sound, keeping his hands up, keeps moving. Blood now, a lot of blood from the nose of Corby. His nose is opened up here in round 4. That might have been that uppercut clipping the nose of Corby. And you see Hollis now, another uppercut. He's going downstairs and upstairs. Beautiful combination by Hollis to the body, then to the head. Another good left hand by Hollis. It's a big round for Orlando Hollis right now. Another ripping body shot. Corby doing a good job just trying to stay away from the punches of Hollis, and Hollis seems to be getting stronger and sharper as this fight goes on. That long layoff, you know, that rust just coming off quickly. Hollis, 32 years old, a record of 14-5, began his pro career back in 1994. Born in Killeen, Texas, but making his home in Washington, D.C. Good clubbing right hand. Corby taking a lot of punishment. Good right hand by Corby. Hollis holds on for a moment. Corby way off of that right hand. Again, Hollis ducks the right hand of Corby. Corby looking to his corner for some instructions. I think maybe some defense might be in order. The blood not flowing. Yeah, blood is flowing from the nose of Corby. Nice uppercut by Hollis at the beginning of this round. Broke that nose open. Can't say if it's busted. We'll wait till after the fight. Another good jab by Hollis, who has his mouth open. He's tired. He's exerted a lot of effort, all offensively tonight here in the ballroom. Special thanks from Ballroom Boxing to the firm of Cohen, Snyder, McClellan, and Ketzenberg for supporting Ballroom Boxing here on Home Team Sports. Hollis just working beautifully here tonight after the layoff. Good combinations. Corby, kind of a made-to-order opponent, just plodding along, not offering much offensive resistance. The end of round 4. More Ballroom Boxing coming up on Home Team Sports. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. I'm Larry Michael, along with John Scheinman tonight in the ballroom at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Fight in the ring. Hollywood, Orlando Hollis in the blue trunks with a red trim against Bruce Corby. This fight is scheduled for 6 rounds. This is the 5th. And the 4th round was big time in favor of Hollis. What do you think, John Scheinman?
I agree. He's well ahead. He's up 40-35, at least on my unofficial scorecard. But and you could almost look at it and say, gosh, maybe they should stop this fight. This guy's bleeding. He's taking a beating. But as you noted earlier, Hollis is gassed. He's winded and he's laboring. And we know that Bruce Corby has 8 knockouts to his record. And judging by the way he fights, he's a one-punch knockout guy because he doesn't put any combinations together. You never know when that lucky punch is going to come. And as long as he's competing, you'll let it go on.
Hollis has done a real good job, John, of controlling the tempo of this fight. Good left hand by Hollis. Corby kind of trying to survive right now, holding his hands out. He got to hold his hands up instead of out. Might be a better defensive posture for our Mr. Corby out of Taylor, Pennsylvania. Corner of Corby warning him that the referee will stop the fight unless you start throwing some punches here. Good left hand by Hollis. A lot of blood from the nose, and it looks like Yuri Campaneschi is taking a good long look at the nose of Bruce Corby. Overhand right by Corby, just way, way off the mark, coming up short. More good body work by Hollis. Hollis staying busy, doing what he should be doing right now, throwing punches, not allowing Corby any lucky opportunities. Good left hand by Hollis as Corby tries to move to his left. Corby doing very little right now offensively. Hollis having his way with Bruce Corby. And you know, even a guy like Hollis, who has been laid off, has not fought in over a year, almost 2 years. Yes, he did have a lot of rust. Yes, he is gassed right now, but you know, just the sight of the opponent in the shape that Corby is in kind of gets the rusty fighter energized. You can see Hollis. Hollis is finding a reserve right now. This is a perfect fight for Hollis, coming off a long layoff. Got an opponent that really not offering a lot of defense. A one-punch type of guy. You see Corby just backing away, firing a punch, backing away, firing a punch. Hollis, though, has the boxing skills, working him from every angle. Throwing the hook, throwing the uppercut with both hands, throwing the jab, throwing the right hand. Hollis has a lot of skills. We've seen him here tonight. The 6th and final round will be next. We'll be back. This is the 6th and final round. And you know what? Hollis has done a great job dominating this fight. Corby, the doctor in the corner, took a real long look at Corby, making sure that nose was in the shape to continue. And he's back. Good clubbing left hand by Hollis. And John, as we are in the final round, how do you have this fight scored?
Not a lot of work for me here tonight. This is a pretty lopsided one. It's been pretty easy to score. 50 to 44 for Hollis. And I was really impressed with his last round. I mean, his work rate was sensational considering how tired he looked in the 4th. You're right, this fight's made to order for him, and it's a great comeback fight, but he's working real hard. He's obviously committed to getting his career back on track after the almost 2-year layoff.
No doubt about it. 32 years old. Corby has some fans here, though, trying to urge him on. As we heard Alfonzo Daniels earlier in the telecast say, the other fans can give you some energy when you're down on your luck in a fight. And right now, Corby couldn't be any lower on his luck. Almost had that fight stopped between the 5th and 6th rounds because of the nose. Good left hand by Hollis. Hollis just quicker with the punch. Corby doesn't have the skills to keep up. There's that half uppercut with the right hand by Hollis. Scored again. See Hollis, the hands have dropped a little bit from the beginning of this fight. Still got good reactions, but the arms must be tired. You see how low they are. He's huffing and puffing. He wants to finish this fight strong. He's really dominated the action. Good body work by Hollis, really peppering the body of Corby. Corby just does not have an answer. 29 years old, Bruce Corby from Taylor, Pennsylvania. And like we said earlier, he's on a win-loss record over the last 6 fights, and last time out he won, so you might say he's due for a loss. Though I'm sure that's not the way he looked at it as he approached tonight's fight. The word on Hollis coming into the fight, he was a big puncher early. He took this fight on short notice, and boy, he has looked good. That's the kind of fight he brings when he gets called on short notice. I wonder what he's like when he has time to train. Hollis just taking his time, picking apart Corby. Corby just cannot respond. Corby's still there. Corby talking to Hollis a little bit right now. I think he should be fighting, not talking. Good 6th-round performance by Orlando Hollis. Finishing the fight strong. And you got to figure Hollis the winner after a layoff since September of '97. Orlando Hollis looking good tonight in the ballroom. We'll be back with the decision. Hollis apparently dominating. We'll find out after this. All right, welcome back to Ballroom Boxing, presented by Toyota on Home Team Sports. 6 rounds are history. Corby and Hollis. Hollis looking good. Let's see the official word from Pat O'Malley.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. We have a unanimous decision. Judge MALIK WALEED scores it 60-54. Judge Holmes scores it 60-54. And Judge Kenny Chevalier scores it 60-54. And the winner, by unanimous decision, Orlando Hollywood Hollis.
It's a shutout, 60-54 on each and every card tonight. Despite not having fought since September of 1997, Orlando Hollis of Washington, D.C., a unanimous decision winner over Bruce Corby of Taylor, Pennsylvania. All right, welcome back to the ballroom, folks. Another exciting fight is in the ring, and so is our ring announcer, Pat O'Malley.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. The Maryland State Athletic Commission, Chairman Carlin Milligan Jr., Executive Director Patrick Panella, Ballroom Boxing Promoter Scott Wagner, and matchmaker Josh Hall present this 4-round bout in the lightweight division. The referee in charge is Kenny Chevalier. Introducing the boxers. Out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed in red, weighing 138 pounds, from Columbia, South Carolina, with a record of 2-1, 2 by knockout. Please welcome Curtis K.O. Smith. Out of the red corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed in white, weighing 130 3/4 pounds, from Lange, Maryland, with a record of 6-0. Please welcome Ernesto Body Snatcher Rodreguez.
Ernesto Rodreguez has a lot of folks in the D.C. area excited about his future. Let's take a look at tonight's matchup. Ernesto Rodreguez and Curtis Smith. Curtis K.O. Smith from Columbia, South Carolina. You see there's a bit of a weight advantage tonight for Curtis Smith, 8 pounds. And at that lightweight class, actually it's a lightweight against a junior lightweight here tonight. Ernesto Rodreguez giving up some size to Curtis Smith. Let's see if he can overcome that with boxing ability and punching power. And there you see Curtis Smith, also a southpaw. So this is a very, very challenging fight for young Ernesto Rodreguez, 24 years old, from Landover, Maryland, sporting the perfect 6-0 record with no knockouts. Referee tonight, Kenny Chevalier, for this fight. This contest scheduled for 4 rounds. And really just various weights. Mr. Smith, Curtis Smith, has Rodreguez by about 10 pounds. So Rodreguez really taking a chance here with that unblemished mark to take on the bigger man. Rodreguez has great punching power, good quickness, very well schooled. And really, when you think about it, you know, you got Rodreguez coming into the fight tonight at 130 pounds, and after drying out a little bit, Curtis Smith probably has put on some weight. Probably closer to 145 than 138 as he is listed. Rodreguez working the overhand right. It's a 4-round fight. Reminder, folks, ballroom boxing. It's great on TV, but even better live and in person here at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. The next card coming up at Michael's March the 25th. More information, call Michael's 8th Avenue at 410-766-7474, 410-766-7474, or check us out on the web. Yes, www.ballroomboxing.com. March 25th, circle the date, Ballroom Boxing here at Michael's, Glen Burnie, Maryland. Ernesto Rodreguez eating the front part of a glove from Curtis Smith. Rodreguez talking to him too. And that's all you got? You just see Rodreguez trying to work the mouth as well as the hands. Good body shot by Rodreguez. You see Rodreguez taunting the taller Smith. They're listed as both being at 5'7", but sure looks like Smith in the black and red trunks has the height advantage. Nice right hand by Rodreguez. Curtis Smith from Columbia, South Carolina, born in Atlanta, Georgia. Comes into the fight with a record of 2-1. Last time out, 1995. So Curtis Smith has not fought in quite a long time. Good body shot there. The body shot by Smith. Right hand by Ernesto Rodreguez in the first round, winding down. So the size of Smith has not been a factor in this fight so far, but a long way to go in the ballroom. We'll be back. All right, welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. I'm Larry Michael. Great to be with you tonight for the excitement which comes your way from the ballroom. Kenny Chevalier, the referee here, taking a look at the glove of Ernesto Rodreguez, calling a stop to the action. I can't tell from here, but probably what you have is some tape that is loose. Corner taking a look at that glove, snipping off the loose piece, and round 2 will continue. John Scheinman of Ring Magazine is with us as well. And John, the first round, kind of a contrast in styles. The taller, bigger Smith against the smaller, quicker Rodreguez.
I'll tell you, if Curtis Smith is a lightweight, I'm Butterbean. This guy looks like he weighs about 150 pounds right now. But I'll tell you something, you got to take your hat off to Ernesto Rodriguez's his management team. They put him in against a lot bigger guy who obviously has a lot of skills. They're putting their 6-0 record on the line. But this is how you build a young fighter. You put him in against good tests. So when you come up to your big fight, you know what you've got under your belt. This is no pushover, and this is a good matchup.
But a very, very scary fight for the corner of Rodreguez. Curtis Smith, as we mentioned, just 25 years old, has not fought since 1995. It's not like there's a book on Curtis Smith.
But you like to see them going after what's considered a tough guy, and that's what they're doing here. They're not afraid to put their fighter on the line. They're not protecting Ernesto Rodriguez. They're saying, hey, if you're going to be a contender, you've got to beat guys like this.
Thank you, John Scheinman. We're going to be hearing from John throughout tonight's broadcast. This fight is scheduled for 4 rounds, midway through round 2. Curtis Smith beginning to find a little bit of a tempo and kind of chasing Rodriguez around. Good right hand of the body, went up top with the head as well. So good round for Curtis Smith. See some swelling around the left eye on the side of the head after that the right hand of Curtis Smith on the left eye of Rodriguez. Rodriguez, a very, very confident young man out of Atlanta, Maryland. Record of 6-0. Smith in the clinch, trying to work the body of Rodriguez. Exchange of body shots and a head shot there by Curtis Smith. Smith is the bigger man. Look at the size differential. Has to have Ernesto Rodriguez by at least 10 pounds. This fight, though, scheduled for just 4 rounds. See Curtis Smith beginning to find some confidence and stalking Rodriguez somewhat in there. Rodriguez can't avoid Smith right now. Smith just growing in confidence as this fight moves on. Good overhand right by Rodriguez. And Rodriguez with just 1 knockout to his credit. Smith slowing down again. He has not fought since 1995, so he's showing a little bit of ring rust. Rodriguez fires off a fast combination. He's known for his quickness. More Ballroom Boxing brought to you by Toyota on Home Team Sports. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. At the end of round 2 is Rodriguez with the punch right at the bell, and Curtis Smith took a good long look, stared down Rodriguez as to say, that punch was late. You wouldn't do that during the fight. Good left hand by Curtis Smith has rocked Rodriguez. Rodriguez with the unblemished record, 6-0, risking it all here. And Curtis Smith, remember the taunting that Rodriguez was saying at the end of that round. Smith was hit late by Rodriguez. Rodriguez kind of came at Smith after the round was over, opened his mouth, started wagging his tongue at Smith and trying to get inside Smith's head, trying to unwind him a little bit. And instead, Smith makes him pay in the ring during the action, which is the only way to go if you're a boxer. A lot of the shenanigans that goes on between rounds and some of the posturing and the taunting, unless the 3 minutes are in and you're in a round, none of that matters. And a good fighter, a good boxer can divorce himself from the psych job. I've witnessed Evander Holyfield's domination of Mike Tyson on 2 occasions. The psych job, the intimidation by Tyson, really had no effect on Holyfield, and in fact worked in reverse. When a guy taunts you and you can come right back and bully him in the ring, he realized his own taunts are empty threats. And let's check with John Scheinman. Let's see what the scorecard for Scheinman says. What do you think?
I got it all even, 19-19. I thought Curtis Smith established his jab through most of the beginning of that second round. Ernesto Rodriguez came on in the end, but that jab is the key to the fight if Curtis Smith's going to win. He's got a much longer arms, and he can control the action here. I don't think Ernesto Rodriguez is fighting a very smart fight. I think he should be stepping to the right of that jab and trying to throw some lead-off right hands of his own. That's a perfect way to fight a southpaw. And right now, he's just standing in front of Curtis Smith. And if Curtis Smith got a little busier, he could take over.
I think you're right. Curtis Smith, again, growing in confidence right now. And Rodriguez seems to be more interested in trying to psych out Smith than fight fight him in the ring. And the jab of Smith in the southpaw style giving Rodriguez all kinds of trouble. There you go, Rodriguez going to Kenny Chevalier, the referee. And this fight only scheduled for 4 rounds. We're in the 3rd right now. So it's not like there's a lot of time here in this fight for either fighter to make a move. It's now or never. Good right hand by Curtis Smith. See some swelling around both eyes of Ernesto Rodreguez right now. Rodriguez holding on to Smith, talking to him a little bit in the clinch. I don't think Smith will be intimidated in this fight, especially now after he's gained some confidence. Rodriguez isn't a real heavy puncher. Smith is the bigger man. 4th and final round coming up. I sense there is dislike between these two fighters. We're going to wrap up this fight after this. 4th and final round between these two lightweight warriors, I should say. This is Larry Michael with you, Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. Special thanks to the good folks at Baltimore's Classic Rock 104.3 for promoting this month's Ballroom Boxing card. Coming up March 25th, circle the date. Ballroom Boxing returns live here in Glen Burnie, Maryland at Michael's. All right, John Scheinman with us as well tonight. John, this has been a very, very unique fight, an interesting fight. The taller, the bigger Curtis Smith had not fought since 1995. Ernesto Rodriguez comes in with a perfect 6-0 record. A lot of confidence. Here we are, the 4th and final round. How do you have it scored?
I never, ever scored an even round, but that last round there was just nothing to choose from between the two. And I figured set it up for the final round. I've got a 29-29, all even, and it's anybody's ball game. This is going to be like an amateur fight where they all lay it on the line in the final round, and it's happening right now. These guys just have to dig down deep and just go for the knockouts. I think that's the best way to fight right now.
Smith complaining about a headbutt to the referee, Kenny Chevalier. And Rodriguez has really tried to unnerve Smith from the very beginning of this fight. I think these guys do dislike each other. I'm not so sure there's going to be a lot of hugging and kissing after this one. There you see Ernesto Rodriguez turning southpaw. Not like he has a real big lead right now where he can fritter away seconds. Rodriguez coming out with more fire, though, in the 4th and final round than we've seen in any of the other 3 rounds in this fight. Curtis Smith sticks to his game plan, working the right jab from the southpaw stance. Rodriguez moving away. Up against the ropes, Rodriguez doesn't want to be there, spins away. Neither fighter has been down in this fight. Rodriguez really has never been tested in his young career. Just 24 years old, turned pro in 1997 in January, so he's been a pro for about 2 years. Smith might be getting a little bit tired. He's not fought since 1995, and his pace has certainly slowed down here in the 4th and final round. That might not be good news for him, as John Scheinman described a very close fight. The winner of this last round might win this fight. Nice right hand by Rodriguez, trying to force the action a little bit. Smith turns him around. Kenny Chevalier stepping in again, one of the best in the business. Now it's Rodriguez holding on. Rodriguez showboating a little bit for our Ballroom Boxing cameras. Throws in a right hand. Rodriguez taunting Smith to end this fight. Stay tuned. More Ballroom Boxing coming up. What a battle, Ernesto Rodriguez and Curtis Smith. Who won? Was it Rodriguez keeping his record unblemished, or did Smith pull the upset? Let's go to Pat O'Malley and find out. Patrick.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. We have a unanimous decision. Judge Gary Campaneschi scores it 40-36. Judge Bill Holmes scores it 39-37, as does Judge MALIK WALEED. And the winner by unanimous decision, Ernesto Body Snatcher Rodriguez.
Crowd doesn't like it. Ernesto Rodriguez pulls off the victory to run his record to 7-0. A unanimous decision winner over Curtis Smith. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. I'm Larry Michael. Another fight in the ring. We have a special guest ring announcer. He's Skip Herman from the Herman and McBean Show from 104.3 in Baltimore. Let's go to the special ring announcer with this special introduction.
In the blue corner, wearing the leopard trunks, with a record of 3 wins, 2 by knockout, 5 losses and 1 draw, weighing 194 pounds, from Newark, New Jersey, Eastwick, New Jersey, Elizabeth, okay, Andre Payne. And in the red corner, wearing blue trunks, with a record of 9 wins, 6 by knockout, 6 defeats, weighing 188 3/4 pounds, from New Carrollton, Maryland, Darryl Hollowell. 6 rounds.
Let's take a look at the matchup here. Hollowell and Payne. Now Hollowell, known as Triple Threat, 38 years old, make it 37, actually from New Carrollton, Maryland. The weight advantage going Andre Payne's way, but hey, the intangible here tonight, Darryl Hollowell, is coming off a huge win September of last year, an upset of Courtney Butler right here in this very same ring at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie. He has resurrected his career, which began in 1982. Let's see if he can keep it going tonight against Andre Payne. Payne in the leopard trunks, Hollowell in the blue trunks with the black trim. And you can see the difference in style already. Hollowell, a kind of a crouching fighter, looking for the opening. Payne at 6'2" tall, upright, and that might be made to order for Darryl Hollowell. How much of an impact that victory over Courtney Butler had on Hollowell, who knows? He had been inactive since 1992 after losing on a TKO to Brian Clements in Virginia. Came back in 1998 and rattled off 3 wins over Carlos Jones, Arnold Fountain, and Courtney Butler, the big upset back in September of last year, right here in this very ballroom. So Hollowell, 37 years old, trying to get those legs moving a little bit. Not much action here in round 1. Neither fighter risking an assault. Now Payne comes into this fight with a really not a very impressive record. 3-5-1 with 2 knockouts. His last fight, March of last year, he was TKO'd by Ryan Paletti in Pennsylvania in the 8th round. In fact, 2 of the last 3 fights, Art Bayless TKO'd Andre Payne back in 1997. Just 1 fight in 98 for Payne. Took some time off. A little ring rust on Payne right now. He's had 1 fight over the last year and a half. Hollowell trying to work the jab. So Payne really not firing any punches in this first round. Hollowell trying to move to his left, set up an angle. Almost too much respect even being given here mutually by both fighters. Hollowell and Payne lock up. Gary Campaneschi is the referee in this fight tonight in the cruiserweight division, scheduled for 6 rounds. Hollowell is just a conditioning freak. You can see by the way he looks, 37 years old, not a lot of fat on that body. It's a guy that bikes about 50 miles a week, runs another 25 miles a week. Has a hard time getting fights. Guy that other cruiserweights really don't want to risk their records against. Hollowell in the blue trunks, Payne in the leopard skin. Inactive first round for both fighters. We'll be back in a moment. All right, welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. This is Larry Michael. Darryl Hollowell in the blue trunks with the black trim, taking on the other cruiserweight in the leopard print, Andre Payne. And Joining me now, a man who loves the leopard print, John Scheinman. And John, what'd you think of that first round?
Not only do I love the leopard print, I love a boxer named Payne. Good name. But nothing happened in that round. 10-10. Nobody threw any punches. One thing we've learned about Darryl Hollowell out of that round anyway was that the Courtney Butler fight didn't go to his head. He fights the same kind of fight that he's always fought, which is a counter-punching fight. And Andre Payne didn't do anything in the first round, so Darryl Hollowell didn't have anything to counter. I think Andre Payne looks a lot like Courtney Butler, so maybe he'll start fighting in flurries like Courtney does. Obviously not of the same quality, but something's going to have to draw Darryl Hollowell out of his shell.
No doubt about that. Andre Payne, 32 years old. Mr. ANDREEK is his nickname. And you look at his record, and he fought Richard Frazier twice back in 1993, twice within a 2-month span. And if that name rings a bell, he was the stiff that recently fought Roy Jones in that totally mismatched light heavyweight fight. He is the New York City policeman, Richard Frazier, who took care, actually lost to Andre Payne and had a draw. Excuse me, beat Andre Payne, my apologies, and had a draw with Andre Payne. So Frazier, 1 win and a draw against Andre Payne back in 1993. And Payne beginning to show a desire to fight here, but maybe he just doesn't have the skills. Hollowell, I think, is being a little too cautious right now. I think he should test Payne, who really hasn't done anything here but parade around the ring in the leopard skin. Crowd getting a little impatient with the action too. This fight is scheduled for 6 rounds. This is round 2. Hollowell really not getting good punching range. He's not finding the range right now. The opponent, Andre Payne, causing him some problems, maybe just because of the awkward style of Payne, not wanting to fight. Comes Hollowell just trying to chop down the big man Payne, who has the height advantage by 3 inches. Payne trying to work behind a jab there, but really not getting it done. Hollowell on the defensive here for the first time tonight in the second round. Hollowell, after having resurrected his career with a big upset over Courtney Butler, would hate to see it wasted here tonight, losing to the man with a losing record, Andre Payne. Good straight right hand by Hollowell. I think he's beginning to measure Payne just a bit here now. Hasn't figured out here in round 2. And John Scheinman was right. Hollowell fights the same way. Has not really changed his style after the big win over Courtney Butler. Hollowell against the ropes. Round 2 winding down. More ballroom boxing coming up. Presented by Toyota. We are back to the ballroom at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. This is Larry Michael. Ballroom boxing on Home Team Sports. In the ring right now, cruiserweights. Andre Payne in the leopard trunks. Darryl Hollowell of Washington, D.C. in the blue trunks with a black trim. This is round 3, scheduled for 6. Very little offense from Andre Payne so far. John Scheinman with us as well through 2 rounds. John, how do you have it scored? Well,
I gave that round to Hollowell, and I got him up 20-19. He looked uncomfortable trying to make the fight in the second round. It's not characteristic of him at all. I don't know what Andre Payne's thinking here. What's his battle plan? He just hasn't established any consistency.
John, a lot of blood from the nose of Andre Payne. It was a sneaky left hand by Hollowell, which has opened the nose of Andre Payne. Let's see if the blood flowing causes Hollowell to alter his game plan here.
It's going to ruin that leopard skin trunk.
Don't you have a rug that color at home, John? Hollowell trying to force the action a bit. Payne, though, bleeding from the nose. And it's a nasty, nasty bloody nose for Payne right now. And you see Hollowell trying to come up and under the gloves, the defense of Payne. Trying to open that nose up even more. Little clash of heads that time, accidental. Payne and Hollowell. Hollowell moving from side to side, trying to find an angle. You see him going to the uppercut a little bit here now. With that nose, I think he thinks there's an opening for that uppercut.
All right, let him go. Stop holding. Let go. Stop punching.
The face of Payne getting a little messy right now with the blood from the nose. I think it's bothering Payne. I think the blood is bothering him. Maybe having a hard time breathing through his nose. Payne just trying to walk down Hollowell. Big counter right hand by Hollowell as Payne finally went on the offensive. Just a mess. The nose of Payne is just a mess. A little bit of desperation sneaking into the style of Andre Payne right now. Sure that blood bothering him. Hollowell doing the right thing, trying to work that jab right off the nose of Payne. Hollowell talking to him now. They're trying to get Payne a little anxious. Hollowell ripping uppercut, scores off that bloody nose. Closing moments of the round in the ballroom. We'll be back with more boxing action on Home Team Sports after a timeout. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. The fourth round underway. Cruiserweights coming up in just a few minutes. Our feature bout featuring the Fields brothers. Fields of Dreams, if you will. Tonight, Anthony Fields unbeaten, Jermaine Fields unbeaten. Both on the same card for the first time in their career, professional career, here tonight in the ballroom. Those fights coming up. Right now, these cruiserweights, Darryl Hollowell in command of this fight with Andre Payne in the leopard skin. You know, Hollowell in shape. He's a fitness nut, always working out. Feels he really has had a second lease on life after that victory over Courtney Butler. He has a second career on the rise. He's got a 3-fight winning streak right now. Trying to work his way up the ladder. Trying to work his way over the body of Andre Payne. And a lot of blood from the nose of Andre Payne. A lot of blood. Payne really just cannot get any offense going here tonight. Clubbing left hand off the gloves of Hollowell. Nothing behind that. Did not score. Hollowell not the big one-punch knockout artist. He has 6 knockouts of his wins. 9 wins, 6 losses, but his knockouts come from an accumulation of punches. Just a ton of blood from the nose of Andre Payne. And Gary Campaneschi taking a look at this, taking a look at that nose. I wonder if it is broken. Who can tell from here? If the amount of blood is any indication, then it is a broken nose.
Don't show, guys. Don't show.
Hollowell didn't like that move. The push by Payne. Payne just smothering the punches of Hollowell. Hollowell cannot find the range against the angular Payne. Just keeps on blowing blood out of his nose. Hollowell trying to work the inside up underneath, but the defensive Payne still there inside. Good body shot there by Hollowell. Payne might have snuck a left hand in there. Hollowell has to hold on a bit. Payne really hasn't shown a whole lot of punching power in this fight. Hollowell might have a little blood from his nose right now. Payne with those 2 knockouts out of his 3 wins, and right now it looks like he might be needing a knockout to win tonight against Darryl Hollowell. We're in the ball. Now you gotta love ballroom boxing here at Michael's 8th Avenue. If you've never been here, circle the date, March 25th, the next ballroom boxing card right here at Michael's. For more information, check us out on the World Wide Web, www.ballroomboxing.com. On the net, Ballroom Boxing. In the ring right now, it is Andre Payne and Darryl Hollowell. John Scheinman, what do you say the scorecard says so far?
Darryl Hollowell is comfortably ahead in this fight. I have it 40-37 on my unofficial card. But I'll tell you something, Larry. He just doesn't look comfortable being the front runner and the favorite in a fight. He's fought so many times where he is the underdog, particularly against a guy like Courtney Butler, that he looks like he feels awkward trying to take it to a guy. And this is the kind of guy he should be destroying like he is now. I sensed at the last round that Andre Payne was in big trouble, and I think this is going to be the last round of the fight.
Now, Andre Payne is taunting Hollowell after the flurry that Hollowell tattooed him with against the ropes. Payne needs a knockout to win in this fight, no doubt about that. Hollowell might just oblige him. Blood continues from the nose of Payne. Big right hand by Hollowell. Caught him right on the butt. Sometimes when a fighter does that, he really is hurt. Hollowell needs to put a few of those punches together. Hollowell taunting Payne back, saying, "You can't hurt me." Just the blood continuing to flow from the nose of Andre Payne. Payne right now just trying to stay away from Hollowell. Trying to move, trying to give Hollowell a moving target. Maybe not a bad strategy by Payne, who's taken a lot of punishment. Big right hand by Hollowell, and Payne is in some pain. But he turns around Hollowell. Very nice move by Payne to stop that onslaught. Hollowell really feeling confident right now. He's tasted the punching power of Payne and really doesn't think there's much there. I think Hollowell getting a little courageous here, and he also has scored with a right hand. I think he thinks he can get that in there again. Once again, this fight is scheduled for 6 rounds. And this is the 5th. Payne is rather fatigued right now, just resting up against Hollowell. One good punch, a couple combinations right now by Hollowell, and Payne might just give up. I'm not sure. I don't think Payne wants a whole lot more pain right now in this fight. See Hollowell showing good mobility, good movement. Whole lot of blood from the nose of Payne. Just can't say it enough. It just keeps flowing. All right, the 6th and final round for these cruiserweights. Andre Payne in the leopard print trunks. Darryl Hollowell from Washington, D.C. in the blue trunks with the black trim. John Scheinman, how do you have it scored through 5?
Well, using my own very liberal scoring system, I gave that 10-8 round to Darryl Hollowell, and I have him running away with this fight 50-45. So much for being uncomfortable in that last round. He really took it to Payne and really landed some strong right hands around the head.
Hollowell really feeling comfortable right now. He's beginning to showboat in the final round. You see Hollowell, the peekaboo stance, scores with the right hand. Payne says, "No, you didn't hurt me." So Hollowell go right back to the attack. It's been a real tough fight for Andre Payne. He started slow and really never did get going in this fight. Give Hollowell a lot of the credit for that, even though he seemed a little off balance in this fight. Meaning Hollowell, he's done enough, and he really has dominated the action so far. 5 rounds in the books, the 6th and final round underway. At the 3rd round, the nose of Payne got busted open, and Hollowell started coming up underneath with the uppercuts very effectively. And he is cruising to what would appear to be his 4th straight win, barring the unexpected punch from Payne. Hollowell just working over Payne on the inside as Payne held the left hand. Hollowell let the right hand go. Clubbing left hand by Hollowell. I like Hollowell's style. He's got a lot of shifty moves. Kind of a classy fighter the way he fights. Not a lot of wasted movement. Real big time low blow by Andre Payne, and he is apologetic, as you may see right there. Apologizing. That was a clear low blow. Now Hollowell might just be well served to try to shake it off and get this fight over as quickly as possible, because Payne really hasn't caused him any problems. Why should he give Payne a chance to maybe find a reservoir of strength here with a low blow? And Hollowell's going to take a seat. And he's going to take a break. And referee Gary Campaneschi giving Hollowell an opportunity to regroup after the low blow. And look at Hollowell. He kind of likes this. He says, I'm kicking back. Gary Campaneschi is laughing. I think that's a signal that the guy's okay if he's smiling, huh? I think so. So good sportsmanship. Payne apologetic as soon as it happened. It was an error. That way, there was no point taken away by Campaneschi because of the low blow. And Hollowell right back at it. Once again, the 6th and final round for these two cruiserweights. There's the uppercut, which has been an effective punch in this fight for Hollowell. Against the taller Payne, who has the longer reach, that uppercut has worked. Closing moments of this fight, a good workmanlike performance for Darryl Hollowell, excuse me. Apparently headed to his 4th straight win and his 10th overall in his professional career. Hollowell says, give me a belt. Hollowell says, give me a belt. Well, let's see. All right, welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. It looked like a win for Hollowell. Let's find out. Let's go to ring announcer Pat O'Malley.
We have a majority decision. Judge MALIK WALEED scores it 58-56, Hollowell. Judge Kenny Chevalier scores it 57-57, a draw. And Judge Bill Holmes scores it 59-55, the winner by majority decision, Darryl Hollowell.
Surprising decision. One of the judges had it scored even at 57, but the winner in his 4th straight victory, Darryl Hollowell from Washington, D.C. Big victory for Hollowell. His career has been resurrected. Stay tuned. More Ballroom Boxing coming up after a timeout. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing presented by Toyota. We're in the ballroom at Michael's 8th Avenue. The chandeliers are polished, flowers are fresh, and Pat O'Malley fresh as well. Let's get the introductions from Irish Pat.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. The Maryland State Athletic Commission Chairman Carl N. Milligan Jr., Executive Director Patrick Panella, and Ballroom Boxing promoter Scott Wagner, matchmaker Josh Hall present this 6th-round bout in the junior lightweight division. The man in charge will be Kenny Chevalier. Introducing the boxers. First, out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks, weighing 134 1/4 pounds, from Barahona of the Dominican Republic, with a record of 2-6. Please welcome Fidelio Morel. Out of the red corner, wearing the gold trunks, from Landover, Maryland, with a weighing 136 pounds, with a record of 12-0, 9 via the KO. He is one of the Fighting Fields brothers. This is Jermaine Fields.
Jermaine Fields against Fidelio Morel out of the Dominican Republic. Let's take a look at the matchup. Fields, as we mentioned from the top of our show, unbeaten, climbing up the ladder, 5'9" to 5'11". Now the height advantage is Morel's, but the reach advantage is Fields by an inch. Morel last fought October of 1998 in Pennsylvania. It was a 6th-round decision lost. In fact, he's lost his last 5 fights, but he's an awkward fighter. Jermaine Fields would love to get some quick work in tonight. He's a 12-0 fighter with 9 knockouts. Jermaine Fields from Washington, D.C. of the Fighting Fields family. 26 years old. Great amateur career for Jermaine Fields. Not a lot of sweat built up on the body of Jermaine Fields, though. Doesn't really look like he's that loose yet in this fight. Back in 1992, Jermaine Fields reached the quarterfinals of the Olympic trials. In 96, he was a trials finalist. Then he turned professional. Turned professional in January of 1997 and has never lost. 1998, kind of an inactive year for Jermaine Fields. You don't want to see a fighter of that age, 26 years old, not fighting a whole lot. Fought 4 times, all victories. Last fight November 3rd down in Tennessee, a first-round knockout of Antonio Smith. Right hand there by Morel. Fields, though, a very well-schooled fighter. You can tell these kids, both Anthony and Jermaine Fields, really have done a great job in training, being brought up well. William Fields, the father, got his kid started in boxing at about the 5-year-old mark, trying to keep them off the streets. There's been tragedy in the family. One of the brothers, one of the Fields brothers, is killed. Look at Morel. He's in some bad shape right now. Fields really scores well. Morel being held up the row by the ropes. Kenny Chevalier, the referee, taking a long look at this one. Fields measuring Morel. Morel wobbly. Chevalier, the referee, telling Morel to keep the punches up. Good body shot by Jermaine Fields. That took a lot out of Morel, who's hurt right now. Another body shot by Fields. Ripping body shots by Jermaine Fields. Morel in the wrong place in the corner. Taking a lot of punishment. Another great body shot. And a left to the head by Jermaine Fields. This is a very, very calm fighter. Look at the look on Jermaine Fields' face. Just measuring the opposition, looking for the opening. Big left hand to the head of Morel. And he might not be getting up. 7, 8. It is over. It is over. A first-round knockout by Jermaine Fields. He is now 13-0. That is his 10th knockout. And Morel is still hurt. Trying to get a stool from Morel. It's a good idea. Fields just a professional in every sense of the word. Takes out the opposition very easily in the first round. Very impressive victory by Jermaine Fields. And the question now becomes, when does the competition improve against Jermaine Fields? When does he step in against some of the tougher fighters in his division? That left hand, Morel was wide open. He was defenseless when that left hand scored. And a quick end to that one. Morel is okay. He's okay, which is good to see. Took a pretty good shot and went down, and you kind of knew as soon as he went down he might not be getting up. So that's the second straight first-round knockout for Jermaine Fields. Another look. There was the left hand. Morel kind of moved into that punch. Didn't have much of a defense at that point. So Jermaine Fields keeps that record spotless, 13-0 with 10 knockouts. A first-round pounding of Fidelio Morel here in the ballroom. And Morel being escorted by the doctor. Pat O'Malley has the time. Let's get the official word.
Please, ladies and gentlemen. The knockout came at 2:35 of round 1, and the winner, one of the Fighting Fields brothers, Jermaine Fields.
Jermaine Fields in the gold outfit, a short night's work. The end comes at 2:35 of round 1. Fields notches his 10th knockout victory, 13 overall, and now we'll see if brother Anthony can remain unbeaten as well.
Matchups in the ballroom. I told you so. That's welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. I'm Larry Michael. Competitive matchups in the ballroom. I told you so. That's what we've seen. Getting ready for one of our feature fights. Anthony Fields from the Maryland area, unbeaten, taking on Anthony Perry. It is Anthony Perry's birthday tonight. Will it be a happy birthday for Perry, or will Fields win his 11th with no losses? We're going to find out. Ladies?
Stay tuned for more Ballroom Boxing
on HTS.
It's going to be a knockout.
Early light, what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming of, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. Boom, boom. boom, 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 boom.
Rockets really, the first in the air. They proved through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave. Thank you very much. Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. Now, what if you were in the ring, in the arena here at the Ballroom, you saw your brother just win by a first-round knockout, and you were next in the ring? What would you do? Would you have to match your brother's performance? We're going to find out now. Anthony Fields follows his brother Jermaine's one-round knockout. Anthony Fields, Anthony Perry next. The official word from Pat O'Malley.
The judges will be Gary Campaneschi, Kenny Chevalier, MALIK WALEED. And the man in charge in the ring will be Bill Holmes. Introducing the boxers. Out of the blue corner, wearing the black trunks trimmed in white, weighing 150 pounds, out of Ringside Boxing Gym in Virginia Beach, with a record of 8-5-2, 4 by knockout. Please welcome Anthony Tough Guy Perry. Out of the red corner for this 8-round super welterweight bout, wearing black trunks, weighing 152 pounds, from Landover, Maryland, with a record of 10-0, 7 by knockout. He is the other of the Fighting Fields brothers, Anthony Fields.
Anthony Fields unbeaten. Let's take a look at the matchup. Anthony, 24 years old, and Anthony Perry. Tough guy Anthony Perry, 31. You see the height and reach advantage in favor of the younger Anthony Fields. As we mentioned, today is Anthony Perry's birthday, and will it be a happy birthday for Anthony Perry, and will his present be an upset win over Anthony Fields? Anthony Perry, we've seen him before in the ballroom. He is a tough guy. Really knows how to fight, knows his way around the squared circle. Round one underway. Anthony Fields from the southpaw stance. This fight should be an action-packed fight. Fields is 23 years old, Perry 32 today. And right away, it's Anthony Perry trying to work over Fields along the ropes. Fields is very well schooled. Great amateur background. This is our feature attraction. Jermaine Fields, a one-round knockout winner just moments ago. Good time to thank the folks that make it possible for us to do ballroom boxing on Home Team Sports here at Michael's 8th Avenue, a host of grand occasions. I want to thank the firm of Cohen, Snyder, McClellan, and Ketzenberg, as well as Baltimore's Classic Rock 104.3, and the great folks at Toyota. Ballroom Boxing, you ought to come check it out, March 25th, the next ballroom boxing event here at Michael's 8th Avenue. Check us out on the web as well, www.ballroomboxing.com. Anthony Perry starting fast in this fight, trying to work Anthony Fields over along the ropes. Anthony Fields is trying to find room to counterpunch. Going to go up inside, underneath of Anthony Perry. Perry really not giving Fields any room at all to operate. It's a pretty good strategy for Anthony Perry. Fields needs the room. He's a stylish boxer, got some punching power as well. 6 knockouts out of his 10 wins. Make that 7 knockouts out of the 10 wins for Anthony Fields. So it's the battle of the Anthonys tonight in our main event. See Fields trying to come up underneath again. Anthony Perry doing a good job keeping Fields up against the ropes, taking the leverage away from Fields. Good uppercut there. Fields content just to stay against the ropes and let Perry fire away. There's Fields working from the outside. That's why Perry needs to smother the punching power of Anthony Fields, if he can. Nice overhand left that time by Anthony Fields. Perry fires a right. Fields fires a left. A lot of action in this first round. Good combination by Anthony Fields. Another good left hand by Fields. Some swelling around the right eye already of Anthony Perry. Now Perry turns southpaw. Good clubbing right hand by Fields. Has Perry in some trouble up against the ropes. Big swelling under the right eye. Fields really working over Perry here in the first round. Back to the ballroom after this. We're back to the ballroom at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. This is Larry Michael ringside. Ballroom boxing presented by Toyota. 1 round in the books here. This fight is scheduled for 8, our main event. Unbeaten Anthony Fields, the junior middleweight, going against Anthony Perry. With us as well, John Scheinman. Who'd you give the first round to, John?
Well, I felt Anthony Fields landed the better punches in the fight, but we've seen him before in the Ballroom Boxing Series, and again in that first round, he displayed his propensity to like pull up a patio chair and lay on the first ropes, lay along the ropes and just lounge around and let the other guy tee off. We saw him against Robert Muhammad last year get knocked down doing that. I think it's a bad idea, and Fields would be wise to stay off the ropes.
Well, he came off the canvas and knocked out Robert Muhammad in that fight here in the ballroom in the second round. Let's see if that happens here tonight. This is the same way the first round started. Fields up against the ropes, Perry chopping away. Then midway through the first round, Fields came off the ropes and really picked Perry apart. Once again, Fields content just to sit there and take what Perry has to offer. Almost toying with him right now. Good right hand by Fields in tight. Perry's still right there. That's one thing about Perry. You're not going to have to look for Anthony Perry in the ring. He's right there all the time. And once again, Fields trying to work off the ropes. The left hand really found the mark in the first round for Anthony Fields. That's his power shot. He's got all the punches, but the left hand is the one that he puts the opponent away with. There's a left-hand combination. Now Perry up against the ropes. He really should not be there. See Perry just already huffing and puffing. Unbelievable body work there by Fields as Perry held the head of Fields. The referee, Bill Holmes, warning Perry for holding the head. Perry trying to set up Fields up against the ropes. Fields will have none of that. Fields feigning well, moving well, faking well, scoring with the left hand on Anthony Perry.
Step back, step back, step back.
Nice uppercut there by Fields. Combination by Fields. Just working the body beautifully. Ripping right hand to the body of Perry and a combination upstairs by Anthony Fields. Good work by Anthony Fields in round 2. Taking the tempo, scoring to the body and head of Anthony Perry. Round 3 is next. Don't go away. We're back to the ballroom at Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Michael's 8th Avenue, a host of grand occasions for wedding receptions, any type of occasion. Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland, the place to be. Call 410-766-7474 for more information on the ballroom here at Michael's. This is round 3. Anthony Fields with the solid black trunks going up against Anthony Perry in the black trunks with a white trim. First couple of rounds have been kind of identical. And this third round starting the same way. Anthony Fields up against the ropes. Anthony Perry trying to bully Fields. Fields working off the ropes nicely. It's the same beginning to the round here as we've seen in the first couple of rounds. Fields battling off the ropes, pushing Perry up against the ropes, and referee Bill Holmes has to separate the fighters. John Scheinman is with us again tonight. And John, what does Perry have to do to try to turn this thing around?
Get out of the way of the body shots. Anthony Fields is laying some real deceptively heavy leather on Anthony Perry's body. I think what he has to do is what he did starting out this round. When Fields goes to the ropes, take your best shots right then. You might not score a knockout, but you've got to lay all your leather out on the line when he's giving you an opportunity to hit him. And then just try to box cleverly until he goes back to the ropes again.
Referee Bill Holmes once again warning Perry for pushing off on Anthony Fields. Perry was just beginning to get a little bit of a rhythm there. Once again, Anthony Fields up against the ropes. Perry trying to bull him. Fields has thrown a lot of leather in the first couple of rounds of this fight, and you see Perry's mouth is open. He's tired as well. This fight is scheduled for 8 rounds. Good work by Anthony Fields inside to the head. That body work really paying off. Now he's opening up to the head of Anthony Perry. I mean, Fields really throwing punches with bad intentions right now here in the 3rd round. That left hand gets through again. Perry, a very, very tough fighter, though. It's going to take a lot to get him out, even though James Page back in August of '98 did it in the 6th round in Los Angeles. Anthony Perry's been in against a lot of tough opposition, but 3 of his last 4 fights he has lost by TKO. All right, welcome back. This is round 4. Scheduled for 8. Anthony Fields, the unbeaten Anthony Fields of Washington, D.C., 10-0 with 6 knockouts, going up against Anthony Perry. And Perry clipped by the left hand by Fields here to start round 4. It's a different pattern to this round. Each of the first 3 rounds began with Fields back up against the ropes and Perry hammering away. Fields would turn the tide midway through. Here to start round 4, it looks like Anthony Fields has had enough of this fight and really turning it up a notch against Anthony Perry. Right down the pipe with a left hand, Anthony Fields. Good body work by Fields. You see Perry trying to lock him up. That body work doing a lot of damage right now. Nice right hand by Fields. Perry just holding on to the gloves of Fields. He's tasted that power. Good body shot by Fields. How much of this Anthony Perry can take? He's called tough guy. He's got an 8-5 record with 4 knockouts, but he's really taking some punishment right now at the hands of Anthony Fields. Another sharp left and another one. Anthony Fields really turning that punch over right now. Anthony Perry trying to hang in. Anthony Perry seems to have weathered the storm here in round 4. Beginning to battle back a little bit against Anthony Fields. So Fields' mouth is open right now, looking for some wind. Fields right now looking a little fatigued in round 4. See the hands of Fields really not coming with the same ferocity as they were earlier in this round. Now he's coming back. Perry trying to bob and weave on the ropes to make Fields miss. Somewhat effectively. Fields right up against those ropes again. It's not where Fields wants to be. He'd rather be in the middle of the ring dictating the tempo of the action. Fields looking over to his corner right now as Perry continues to pound away. Here comes Fields off the ropes. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing on Home Team Sports. This is Larry Michael ringside. This is the 5th round scheduled for 8. Junior middleweight division, Anthony Fields, the unbeaten Anthony Fields out of Washington, D.C., 10-0. Taking on Anthony Tough Guy Perry. Perry in the black trunks with the white trim. Fields, the southpaw with the full black trunks. John Scheinman, what does your scorecard say through 4?
I think this is a masterful performance so far by Anthony Fields. I have him ahead 40-36. He's just shutting him out. I disagree with what you said last round, that he looked like he was getting fatigued. I think he's fighting in sort of an ebb and a flow here. He turns it on against Anthony Perry, sees if he can take him out. If he can't, he backs off, he boxes, he relaxes, he lets Perry do some ineffective punching, and then when he sees Perry winding down, he turns it back on again. Anthony Fields right now is in total control of the fight.
I would agree with you there. A clash of the heads there, as Perry has that noggin right up close to the head of Anthony Fields. Fields trying to turn the heat up on Perry. The knockout blow, I don't know if Perry's getting up. Right on the button by Anthony Fields. My goodness, Perry is getting up. Oh, he is a tough guy, isn't he? Now let's see if Anthony Fields follows up. Perry still a little bit wobbly. Fields opening up now, looking for the 5th round knockout. Perry's got a smile on his face, though. He's recouped. It's a perfect punch right on the button. Bill Holmes looking maybe to stop this fight if Perry doesn't fire back. Now Fields backs away. Really should keep the heat on. Bill Holmes really considering stopping this fight. Perry not punching, but he's defending himself. He's not getting hit right now. Fields shaking his hand and Perry battling back. Fields might have been fatigued from all the punches he threw. Look at the tough guy Anthony Perry battling back. I mean, he is laying it all out right now, and Fields turns off the ropes. Well, Fields hurt his hand or what, but he shook his right hand, and that gave Perry the indication to come on in. There's Fields back to his boxing. The right hand looks to be okay. Clubbing right hand by Fields. Perry's moment has passed in this round. Fields knocked him down early. Perry battled back. And here now, Anthony Fields has his back up against the ropes. Exciting round 5 here in the Ballroom. The fight scheduled for 8. We'll be back with more from Michael's 8th Avenue in Glen Burnie, Maryland. Welcome back to Ballroom Boxing. Anthony Fields looking to remain unbeaten. Anthony Fields from Washington, D.C. Earlier tonight, he saw his brother Jermaine Fields beat Fidelio Morel with the 1st round knockout. Now, Anthony hasn't kept up with that pace, but he has done a good job against Anthony Perry. Though here goes Perry to open this round, has Fields up against the ropes. Perry doing some good work up against the ropes against Anthony Fields. Now he backs away. In the previous round, Anthony Perry went down, and I thought he was out. I really did. Somehow he found the reserve to get up off the canvas and finish the round, and actually had some moments after being knocked down in that round. But here we go again. Fields, the superior boxer, has Perry up against the ropes, absorbing punishment. Good body shot by Fields. Another good left hand by Fields. Fields almost arm weary here from all the punches he has thrown in this fight. Now the switch from Perry to southpaw. Fields dives in with the right hand. Perry just sitting in the corner trying to defend himself. Another clash of heads there. You see the grimace by Anthony Fields. The left eye got clipped by the head of Anthony Perry. Anthony Fields have done some great body work in this fight. John Scheinman, what do you think? There's the big shot. Just as we got set to go to John Scheinman, it was the overhand left. Now, I'm not going to say Perry's not getting up. I said that last round, and Perry does get up. True to his nickname, Tough Guy, Anthony Perry comes to his feet. and it looks like he's okay. No, it's not. Bill Holmes waves off the fight. And Anthony Fields victorious tonight by knockout to run his record to 11-0. That's his 8th knockout. Anthony Fields victorious in the ballroom. A knockout of Anthony Perry. I thought that the referee, Bill Holmes, was going to let that go, but Anthony Perry really had taken a lot of punishment in that fight. Back-to-back rounds, he was knocked down with good, solid power shots from Anthony Fields, who is victorious tonight. So the Fields family going to be happy tonight. A doubleheader win for the brothers Jermaine and Anthony. A replay of the shot that put him down. It was a straight left hand, and Anthony Perry went down. I think maybe Anthony Fields a little surprised himself by the stoppage, but he's a happy young man, no doubt about that. And the Fields family wins them both tonight. Crowd got their money's worth tonight at Michael's 8th Avenue, no doubt about that. Pat O'Malley has the official time. Let's get it.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. The knockout came at 2:06 of round 6, and the winner, and still undefeated, the other of the Fighting Fields brothers, Anthony Fields.
There he is, Anthony Fields. Some bright days ahead for that young man from Washington, D.C. Anthony Fields, just 24 years old, and you can bet one day Anthony Fields will get a shot at a world title. Stay tuned, more ballroom boxing coming up after a timeout.
Another great night of boxing in the books here from Michael's 8th Avenue, and the fans certainly went home happy. A grueling night of boxing, I can tell you, folks. Hey, we saw Jermaine Fields remain unbeaten, a first-round knockout winner. His brother Anthony Fields also a knockout winner tonight. Both the Fields brothers remain unbeaten and looking ahead to greater times in their future. For John Scheinman, I'm Larry Michael. Thanks for watching Ballroom Boxing tonight from Michael's 8th Avenue on Home Team Sports.